Is there a new king in the sealed Pokemon investing space? We all know that booster boxes have been the king for a long period of time. They've been, historically, the best place to park your money. But Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, particularly during Scarlet and Violet era, now that they've introduced a stamped promo, have been going absolutely crazy. Are these now the best sealed investment? Are they a better sealed investment than booster boxes? That's what I'm going to answer or get to the bottom of, hopefully, in this video. We're going to look at some data from each of the sets through Scarlet and Violet, and towards the end of the video, I think there's going to be something really interesting to you. I'm going to look at speculation, but it's based on, I guess my best guess and best evidence there in terms of print numbers for booster boxes and Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, and how they differ and maybe what impact that's having on the rises that we're seeing. So before we get into it, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is the Collector app. And I also wanted to clarify something. So I've noticed a few comments in the videos, which is perfectly fine. People are allowed to say whatever they want to say. Not everyone's going to say something nice in this world. It's not that easy, is it? Especially if you put yourself out there online. I've had comments, you're a sellout, the Shiny app, blah, 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 whatever happened to them. And to answer the question, let's just clarify it all. So it's on the table. Cody and I from the Shiny app had a great relationship and we worked well together for a certain period of time. I wanted to keep working with the Shiny app purely out of loyalty. Collector had been knocking on the door to start a partnership for probably the last 4 or 5 months. And the deal they presented to me was better than the one that I was getting from Shiny. But I wanted to stay loyal to Shiny because they were technically my first sponsor, and I think both apps are absolutely fantastic. They are. They're both good apps. Of course, I'm promoting Collector now, but I'm never going to rubbish, the work Cody's done and how much he's built up the Shiny app. It got to the point though where Cody was moving away, so the Shiny app was moving away from YouTube advertising. It's as simple as that. And I don't have another platform. It's YouTube and that's it. I can't advertise anywhere else. He wanted to advertise in different places, feeling it would give him a better outcome for the app. And that's perfectly fine. That's just what happens. So of course, I turned that back to Collector. The door was always left marginally open and said, hey, look, this has happened with the Shiny app. I would love to now come on board with the Collector app. It's as simple as that. No bad blood anywhere. So thank you everyone that made positive comments. It's really nice to see the positive comments saying well done man, well done bro, hopping on board with the Collector app is fantastic. I'll be down in the content creator section soon amongst much bigger names than myself, so it's great to jump on board Collector. It's such an easy app to use, of course. The link will be in the description to download it. You can put your whole singles or sealed collection. I've been using this for a long time. I was using it before Shiny because Shiny didn't exist back then, so I've been using Collector for quite some time to store my sealed and singles collection in. It gives you, the drill. If you've got it, it's so easy to use. So you can put all your collection in it. It tracks the profit daily. It gives you your total percentage gains across the lifetime of your portfolio. Very, very easy app to use if you're a collector or investor alike. Anyway, that's cleared that up. So let's jump into the video because this is important. Like I said, we all know booster boxes have been, the hero. And Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are the new kids on the block. And look, I might be a little bit old school and maybe I'm just starting to get a bit older, but when, kids get these new things and they use them and you just get a bit stuck in your ways because you just prefer what you know and what you love because it was easy and you know how to do it. It's a bit like, in case you didn't realize or you haven't watched one of my videos before, I work for Toyota. Of course, I sell new Toyotas. Electric cars, if I just go into a car analogy, electric cars are fantastic. They go super fast, they drive and handle very well, they have all the tech in the world inside them, but, there's just a but. They're not a twin-turbo inline-six 2JZ Supra, which, although is slower than a lot of electric cars, just feels good. It makes all the right noises. It can light up the rear tyres if you want to. Not on public roads, but if you want to, you know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm a bit stubborn and stuck in my ways when it comes to booster boxes because I still predominantly invest in booster boxes. But are Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes the better investment. Let's jump into some of the numbers. So Scarlet and Violet base. The booster box, this is over the last 12 months because this set's been out greater than 12 months. The booster box has risen 81%. So it's seen massive growth, the booster box, in the last 12 months. But the Elite Trainer box, the Pokemon Center one, 132%. So if we look at the winner here from Scarlet and Violet base, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box is outperforming the booster box. And look, there's a couple of reasons for this. I'm going to get into the reasons at the end. Let's just jump onto Paldea Evolve, of course, the next main expansion from Scarlet and Violet era. 93% up the booster box. So again, incredible growth in the last 12 months. We all know so many facets of this hobby, whether it's singled, sealed from booster boxes, Elite Trainer boxes, booster bundles, have seen massive growth over the last 12 months. So the box up 93%, but the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box up 204%. Again, the win in this main expansion goes to the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. The third main expansion, Obsidian Flames, 77% up the booster box. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, though, get this, in the last 12 months, up 324%. Again, the win goes to the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. Here's where it differs a little bit. We jump into the fourth main expansion, which is Paradox Rift. And I know I'm leaving out, sets like Paldea and Fates and 151 because there's no booster box to compare those two. Paradox Rift, booster box up 79% in the last 12 months. Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box up 62% in the last 12 months. So this is one where the booster box has actually outperformed the Elite Trainer box. And I'll get to the reason why, I think, at the end. Temporal Forces, 57% increase in the booster box and 81% increase in the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So again, the winner there is the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So currently we're sitting at 4-1 out of the main expansions. Twilight Masquerade, 58% increase in the booster box, but only a 22% increase in the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So the booster box wins out there. Now, Stellar Crown Surging Sparks, of course, they haven't been out for very long. Stellar Crown, though, we can look at sort of 6 months worth of data. 59% increase for the booster box and 54% increase for the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So pretty neck and neck, but the booster box just wins out. Surging Sparks hasn't been out for very long at all. Booster box up 67% since release and Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box up 42% since release. It'll be interesting to see how these perform because we're not going to get another, and that's the thing, we're not going to get another reprint of the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. We're going to get reprints of the booster box. Like, I would be so surprised if Stellar Crown and Surging Sparks is already touted for a booster box reprint, doesn't get reprints. Like, that's just going to happen. So are we then going to push up, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box prices and, flatline booster box prices, or even, maybe in Surging Sparks case, bring them down a little bit? So as we can see there, at the moment, there's a lot of Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes that are actually far outperforming their booster box counterpart. And for me, I think there's two reasons for that. One I've already touched on, but the first main one being that stamped Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box promo. And the better the promo, it seems, the better the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box performs. So if we look at good promos, okay, what's the best promo out of all main expansions, so excluding 151, Paldea and Fates, and of course Prismatic Evolutions, what's the best main expansion promo card? And you're going to have to say it's probably that Charmander from Obsidian Flames. That is a really, really nice Pokemon card, and it ties in nicely from the two illustration rares, the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown. That's got to be one of the nicest, doesn't it? If not the nicest. And look at the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. The second nicest, you can't argue that the Pikachu from Paldea Evolved with the 3 main starters or the 3 new starters on it isn't a fantastic looking promo. Arguably the best or the second best. And what do you know? It's the best or second best performing Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. Base sets promos, the new legendaries in there, they're nice looking promos. And then we look at some of the weaker promos, Twilight Masquerade and Paradox Rift, and that's where the booster box seems to be outperforming the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So what I'm getting at is don't discredit the impact that Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box is having on the rise of these Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes themselves. The second main important one, and this is where I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, is all to do with print runs. So how many of them are being produced? I touched on that, how booster boxes are likely to be reprinted, whereas Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes seem to be one and done, don't they? So let's work through this, right? And I'm going to go back to Evolving Skies. So I know I'm going back in time a little bit, but it probably gives us a better indication of how many booster boxes have been produced, because throughout Scarlet and Violet era, there could be reprints coming. There could be, more booster boxes left unopened compared to Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies, yes, there's a little bit stored away because it's gone up in value so much, but people love ripping it because there's so many nice chase cards inside that, particularly the Umbreon VMAX, and that's where we're going to start, Umbreon VMAX. So how could we possibly work out how many booster boxes there are? We don't know. We do not know at all. The only number we truly know is how many cards have been graded through PSA and other grading companies, but let's focus on PSA. So Umbreon VMAX currently has 20,695 copies graded at PSA. Doesn't matter how many attends, that's how many are graded. And this is just a stab in the dark. And like I said, this is just educated guessing. And I could account for some area. I could be well off or I could be marginally off. Whoever knows? We just don't know how many cards from a particular set or booster boxes get created. But let's say, out of that Umbreon VMAX, and bear with me because I said I'm going down a rabbit hole, let's say 20% are being graded at PSA. This accounts for a lot of things. Cards graded at other grading companies, obviously cards left raw, cards opened up by kids and absolutely destroyed, cards left inside booster boxes and other packs inside collection boxes or elite trainer boxes. It accounts for a heap of them. So if only 20% have been sent to PSA for grading, that allows, so 5 times that many are in existence. So that would give us 103,475 copies of Umbreon VMAX. And again, I could be way off. The pull rate to get an Umbreon VMAX, and this is where I said bear with me, so if we've got 103,475 total copies, for argument's sake, the pull rate's 1 in 1,666. So if we multiply that, the amount of cards by the pull rate, we should get roughly how many booster packs there are, which is a massive number. 172 million booster packs of Evolving Skies. And that equals, just so you know, 1.9 billion cards. And you might go, well, you're way off. That's way too many. And I'll go, well, hold on. Pokemon did actually release in 2022, and I know Evolving Skies came out in 2021. They did release that they printed nearly 10 billion cards. And Evolving Skies was super popular. And if you work off 5 main sets for the year, 10 billion divided by 5 is 2 billion, 1.9 billion across, a few years. Maybe it's not too far off. So if we work on that, there's 172 million booster packs. Let's say, for argument's sake, only 30% of them got put into booster boxes. The other 70% went into elite trainer boxes, sleeve blisters, collection boxes, you name it, all the other products that they could, tins, all the other products they could have put Evolving Skies booster packs in. That gives us 51 million packs going inside booster boxes, 36 packs inside a booster box, which gives us 1.4 million booster boxes of Evolving Skies. Like I said, I could be way off. I could be double, I could be half, I could be somewhere in between. I'm not saying this is factual, but just bear with me on it. So let's say there was 1.4 million booster boxes of Evolving Skies. That's a pretty damn big number, and maybe I've overestimated that by a mile. But let's compare this, right, to Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes from Scarlet and Violet era. So let's pick on the Pikachu out of Paldea Evolved. Currently, there's only 1,521 PSA copies. Let's say, and we can work on lots of numbers here, let's say 10% of them have been graded, because 90% of them have been sent to a different grading company, still inside the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, in people's hands, left inside the plastic cover, kept raw, in a binder, whatever it might be. Let's say only 10% of them have been sent to PSA. That means there's only 15,210 copies, which means 1 copy per Elite Trainer box. There's only 15,210 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes of Paldea Evolved. Now, again, I could be way off. Let's say it's only 5% that have been sent to PSA. That's 30,000 copies, which means 30,000 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes for Paldea Evolved. Or let's say it's 2%. That's 76,000. 76,000 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes produced. Or let's say it's 0.5%, so less than 1% have been graded at PSA. That's 304,000 total Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. No matter what way you look at it, the point I'm trying to make is, and I know I went down a rabbit hole and these numbers could be way off. The point I'm trying to make is the print runs for Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are drastically lower than the print runs for a booster box. I don't know how that sits with me, because it's like, yeah, you drive an electric car and you go, damn, that's nice. But then you hop in a Supra and you go, yeah, that's nicer. I don't know. I think we need a bit more time. And look, Elite Trainer boxes, particularly some of the early ones, XY Base, Plasma Storm, Plasma Blast, Ancient Origins, Phantom Forces, those Elite Trainer boxes have gone absolutely gangbusters. And why? Not because it's good value per packs, like the amount of packs in there. The why is because they were so low printed. It wasn't a popular item back then. And if we work off the fact that maybe there's 15,000, 30,000, 76,000, 300,000 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, that's still going to be a low number in comparison to the booster box. So are Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes really going to surprise people, particularly with the bonus of the stamped Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, promo, and do something like those early Elite Trainer boxes from early XY, late Black and White, even Sun and Moon Elite Trainer boxes? It still wasn't really a massive thing. There were still booster boxes. That was still the main pickup during Sun and Moon. And look what's happened to a lot of those, Sun and Moon Elite Trainer boxes. I mean, I've got the Celestial Storm one sitting here and it feels like a really, really rare item. My answer is, I don't know if there's a new king. I think they're going to perform fantastically, particularly if they've got a really good promo inside there. If you can get your hands on one, and that's the other thing, we all know how hard it is to pick them up at a reasonable price at the moment. They get scalped like crazy, like anything else that's exclusive in Pokemon at the moment. But if you can pre-order them and get them at a good price, I think it's going to be a fantastic sealed investment. Is it going to outperform good booster boxes from a set? I think that's yet to be seen in the long term, but if it's anything like those early Elite Trainer boxes that had lower print runs, the argument's probably going to say yes. Let's wait and see. This is going to be interesting space. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Catch everyone next time.